Welcome, Apba Baseball Classic fans. How did I seed the tournaments in this Deadball era division tournament? Very straightforward. I simply took the best regular season records, assigned 10 points to the best, 1 to the worst in descending order for these 10 teams. And then same thing with the postseason records, 10 to the best, 1 to the worst, and added the two totals together. Whoever had the highest total was top seed. So that left us with 1915 Boston as the top seed, 09 Pittsburgh 2, and then we come to the problem. That's the 1919 Cincinnati Reds, who had a lot of help in their postseason record. That was the 1919 Black Sox throwing the World Series. So what do I do with that? I thought, well, I could give them a neutral record for the postseason. That would have put them at the 5th seed. Not much different than the 3rd seed, so I just went ahead and stayed with the way I seeded all the other teams. And so that leads us to Philadelphia 4th, 1911 Philadelphia A's. 5 was the 06 Chicago Cubs. I think the Cubs and Boston are probably the two best teams. We'll see. 1920 Cleveland Indians will be 6th. 1917 Chicago White Sox. The 1912 New York Giants. 1909 Detroit Tigers. And then the 1920 Brooklyn Dodgers were 10th. Brooklyn Robins were 10th. 7 through 10 had to play wild card games to get into the top 8 for the elimination tournament. And here we are today. Cincinnati Reds of 1919 are going to play the 1920 Cleveland Indians, and Cincinnati can prove themselves that 3rd seed. Have fun with today's game. Let's go play it. Here are the starting lineups for today's game. First for the Cleveland Indians in 1920. Joe Sewell will lead off, and he's going to be playing second base. Charles Jameson will be in left field. Tris Speaker in center field. Elmer Smith is playing right field. Joe Evans is as a shortstop. Larry Gardner is the third baseman. Doc Johnson, first baseman, and Steve O'Neill, the catcher, with Jim Bagby, grade A, Z pitcher. For the Cincinnati Reds, Maury Rath will lead off and play second base. Jake Dalbert's first base. Heine Groh is the third baseman. Ed Roush in center field. Rube Bressler in left field. Larry Koff, the shortstop. Greasy Neal in right field. Ivy Wingo is the catcher, and Hod Eller, a grade A YZ pitcher. Cincinnati will be fielding column 1, while the Cleveland Indians will be fielding column 3. We're ready to begin. Joe Sewell is the leadoff batter for the Indians, and he was a replacement for Ray Chapman. Actually, the eventual replacement. Ray Chapman was the unfortunate gentleman who, in August of 1920, was beamed by a pitch from submariner Carl Mays, and he died from that. He became the only fatality in Major League history. He was replaced at shortstop by Harry Lunte, but Lunte later got injured, and then it was Joe Sewell. All right, here's the first pitch. 61 is a ground ball to third base. Charlie Jameson. 6-6 roll, that's a hit column roll. 34 is going to be a single for Jameson. And now Tris Speaker. 55 is a 7 against the A pitcher. That's going to be a ground out to third base. 5-3. Jameson will go to second. Two outs, Elmer Smith. 52 is a ground out to third base. Y modifier, so it's going to be a strikeout for Elmer Smith. And that's the end of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first one. Nothing. Jim Bagby takes the mound for the Indians. He later had a son, Jim Bagby Jr., who also grew up to be a fine major league pitcher, and it was Jim Bagby Jr. who ended Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak in 1941. Maury Rath leads off for Cincinnati. 32, that's going to be a ground out to second base. 4-3, one away. Here is Jake Dalbert, who is generally considered to be the best first baseman in the National League from 1910 to 1920. 65 is going to be a pop-up to the catcher, Steve O'Neill. 2 away. Heine Groh. 52 is a ground out to the third baseman, 5-3. That's the end of the first inning. We go to the second, no score. Joe Evans leads off for Cleveland, a .349 hitter in 1920. 32 is the result, is a ground out to second base, 1 away. Here is Larry Gardner. 44 is a base hit for Larry Gardner. Gardner also plays on the 15 Red Sox in this tournament. Here is Doc Johnson. Doc Johnson had a brother in the major leagues. Same time he played. His name was Jim Johnson. And he played with the 1920 Brooklyn Robins. And they played against each other in the World Series. First time that happened when two brothers were on an opposing team in the World Series. Here is the pitch to Doc Johnson. 56 is a Y modifier for a strikeout. 2 away. Catcher Steve O'Neill. .33 is a hit column roll. .66, that's a drive. It might be, it could be, it is out of here for a home run. And it is 2-0 Cleveland over the Reds. This might be a very dangerous team. I played the 20 Indians in a great teams league many years ago, and they with either 40 or 60 other teams, and they won it. They won that. It was just a 15-game season, but they won it easily. All right, here is the pitcher, Jim Bagby. 1-1 roll, that's going to be a hit column roll for the pitcher. 1-1, that's a drive, and back-to-back home runs for the 20 Indians, and it is 3-0, and that's probably a rare occasion in Deadball to see 2 consecutive home runs. It's kind of rare to see 2 home runs in a game in Deadball. So Heidel are really struggling here for the Cincinnati Reds. Joe Sewell, the top of the order. 41 is a ground out to the shortstop. But the Indians have done some damage with 3 hits. They take a 3-0 lead. Bottom of the second inning, Ed Roush leads off for Cincinnati. It's a Hall of Famer. 51 is a 8 against an A pitcher. Is going to be a pop out to third base. 1 away. Rube Bressler. Don't think I could say that 10 times in a row. Rube Bressler. Okay, 42 is a swing and miss for strike 3. Larry Koff. That's a 56 roll. That's going to be a ground out to third base, 5-3. So 3 up and 3 down quickly for the Reds. We go to the top of the third, 3-0 Cleveland. Charlie Jameson. 51 is going to be an 8 against an A. That's going to be a pop out to the third baseman, Larry Gardner. No, we're on the other way around. Jameson's up. Third baseman is Heine Groh, who makes the catch. Tris Speaker. Lifetime average in the 340s, was well known for playing very, very shallow in center field. Here's the pitch for Speaker. 24 is a ground ball back to the pitcher, Hot Eller. There are 2 outs. And Elmer Smith. 52 is a ground out to third base, 5-3. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-0 Cleveland. Greasy Neal, well known for his football playing, played with the Canton Bulldogs while he played with the Reds, and then later on coached many years in the NFL, winning the 1948 and 49 championships against the Chicago Cardinals and the the Cleveland Rams. Here is the pitch to Greasy Neal. 65 is a pop out to the catcher, Steve O'Neill. 1 away. Ivy Wingo, the catcher, Cincinnati, is looking for the first hit here in the third. 46 is a fly ball to Charlie Jameson, left field. It's 2 down, and the batter is Hot Eller. 43 is going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher, Jim Bagby. He throws the first. 3 outs. We go to the top of the fourth. 3-0 Cleveland. Joe Evans will lead off for the Cleveland team. 42 is a 9 against the A. That's going to be ground out to shortstop. One away, Larry Gardner. 1-1 roll, that's hit column roll. 53, and it's going to be a double for Larry Gardner. I sacrificed some defense with today's lineup for Cleveland because I want to get the bats going, and looks like the bats are going. 1 way. Here's the pitch to Doc Johnson, 31. That's going to be a 9 with the runner on second against an A. Ground out to shortstop, runner goes to third. That'll lead to an intentional walk to Steve O'Neill, the catcher, 321 hitter. And they will pitch to the pitcher. Infield is playing back. There's 2 outs. 1-5 is at 8. First and third. It's a fly out to right field. That ends the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Cleveland. Maury Rath, the top of the Cincinnati order, leads off. 32 is going to be a ground out for the first out. Ground out to second base, 4-3. Here is Jake Dalbert. Quiet, good leader on the team. 46-32 is a fly ball to right field caught by Elmer Smith. 2 away. Heine Groh. 24 is a fly out to the center fielder. Tris Speaker is tracking it and makes the catch. 3 outs. We go to the top of the fifth. 3-0 Cleveland. Joe Sewell will lead off for the Cleveland Indians. Sewell was well known for not striking out. He holds the major league record for striking out only 1 in 62 at-bats on average, which he had some completely years where he only struck out 3 or 4 times. Also, you might be familiar with Luke Sewell, who's been playing in this tournament. He's a catcher. That was his brother. He played for 20 years in the major leagues. 24 is a swing and miss. Well, there you go. And I am kind of shocked he's got a 13 on his card. Just as I talk about his toughness as far as making contact, he strikes out. Here's Charlie Jameson. 63 is going to be a fly out to the center fielder, Ed Roush. 2 down. Tris Speaker. 36 is there's a Y modifier, so Speaker strikes out. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Cleveland. Outfielder Ed Roush leads off. 53, that's going to be a ground out to the third baseman, Larry Gardner. 1 down. So far, Bagby has been perfect. Here's Rube Bressler, 23, as a ground out to second base. 4-3, 2 away. Larry Koff. 12, it's going to be a ground out to second base. 4-3. We go to the 6th, still 3-0 Cleveland. Elmer Smith, who has struck out and grounded out, will lead off. For the Indians, 41 is a ground ball to the shortstop, Evans. That's Koff, Larry Koff. He throws over to first. One away. Joe Evans. He's playing shortstop for Cleveland today. 53 is a 16 on fielding column 1. Fly out to the center fielder. 2 down. Larry Gardner. 1-4 is a fly out to the left fielder. 3 outs. And Hot Eller has retired the last 7 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Cleveland. All right, as we go to the bottom of the 6th, Cleveland's going to make 2 defensive changes. Harry Lunte is going to come in and play shortstop. That gains a couple of points on defense. And Bill Wamsgans will replace Joe Sewell at second base. And that's going to gain some points. So they actually go from a fielding column 3 to a fielding column 1. Greasy Neal leads off for Cincinnati. Jim Bagby has not allowed anything. 34 is the roll. To fly out to the center fielder, Tris Speaker. 1 down. Ivy Wingle. 25 is an 8 against an A. It's not going to be a hit. That's a pop out to third base. Here's the pitcher, Hot Eller. 33, that's going to be a hit column roll in the end of the no-hitter. 1-4 is a double for the pitcher, Hot Eller. Cincinnati has their first base runner of the game. There are 2 outs, and we go to the top of the order. Maury Rath. 21 is an 18 on column 1. That's an error on first base. The error is on the, oh, no, there are 2 outs. It's not an error. It's ground out to shortstop. 6-3. Okay, so that's the end of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th. 3-0 Reds. Doc Johnson leads off. He is 0 for 2. 26 is a ground out to the third baseman, Y modifier, so it's going to be a strikeout. 1 down. Steve O'Neill. 34 is a roll. That's a fly out to the center fielder, Ed Roush. 2 outs. And now Bill, let's see. Pitcher Jim Bagby is up. .44 is going to be an 8 against an A. That's an out. Pop out to third. Bottom of the 7th, 3-0 Cleveland. Jake Dalbert leads off for Cincinnati. He made the World Series both with the Reds and another with the Brooklyn Dodgers. 1-4 is a fly ball to Charlie Jamison in left field. Heine Groh. 43 is a ground ball back to the pitcher. 1-3, 2 down. And now Ed Roush. Ed Roush did not like spring training back in his day, and so he usually have some kind of an injury or just report late. But he got away with it. He was such a good player. 64 is a 40 is a foul ball for strike 1. 23 is a ground out to second base. 4-3. Takes us to the top of the 8th, still 3-0 Cleveland. Bill Wamsgans, who came in for Joe Sewell, leads off for Cleveland. 66 roll, that's a hit column roll. He came in for defensive purposes, but see what we get here. 53 is a double for Bill Wamsgans. No outs. Cleveland's got a man in scoring position. Charlie Jamison will sacrifice. .53 is the 16. That's going to be a runner steals third. Since his catcher is an 8, I'm going to give him a chance to throw out the runner. 11 through 23, he's going to be out. 24 through 66, safe. 26, just barely. He is safe. And there is no outs and runner at third. That takes the bunt off. Jamison will be swinging away. Cincinnati will be playing with the infield in. 62 is a 40. Man on third. Pop out to the shortstop. Larry Koff, 1 away. Tris Speaker, who hit .388, is going to be walked intentionally. And Cincinnati will play the, let's get the right pitcher on the mound. Cincinnati will play the infield back, try to get a double play with this first and third and 1 away. Homer Smith, 43 is a 29. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher. He looks the runner back to third. Speaker at first goes to second, and the throw goes over to first for the second out. Elmer Smith is retired. So with 2 outs, here is Harry Lunte, who came in to play shortstop for Evans. Infield's back. 62 is a ground out. It's going to be an out. Let's see. Ground out to third base. 5-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-0 Cleveland. Rube Bressler leads off for Cincinnati. They only have 1 hit, and Bagby has pitched to just 1 over the minimum. That's it. Here's the pitch. 34 is a fly ball to center field. Caught by Tris Speaker. 1 away. Larry Koff. Speaker plays so shallow in center field that sometimes he got some putouts at second base. That happened a number of times. He led the Major League's career in putouts and assists. from center field. Here's the pitch to Larry Koff. 25 is an 8 against an A. That's going to be a pop out to third base. Caught by Larry Gardner, and there's 2 outs. Greasy Neal. 1-5 is going to be a base hit for Greasy Neal, and that 11 will give him a chance to steal second, but behind by 4 runs, I think he'll forego that chance. Ivy Wingo. 32 is ground ball to second base. They go the short way to retire Neal 4-6. At the end of the 8th inning, we go to the top of the 9th, 3-0 Cleveland. The pitch in the 9th inning is from Havana, Cuba, Dolph Luke. And I don't know if that's pronounced Luke or Luque. Luque sounds better to me. I'll call him Luque. Grade C, Z modifier. Larry Gardner will lead off for the Indians in the top of the 9th. They've got 3-run advantage. 42 is a base on balls. Gardner will be on first. Nobody out. Doc Johnson will square around and sacrifice. 1-2 is a 25. Its bunt is popped up, caught by the catcher. Throw to first real quick, and he is retired at first. 2-3. Double play on the sacrifice attempt. That's 2 quick outs, and Steve O'Neill comes to bat. .23 is a fly ball to Elmer Smith, or not Elmer Smith, the right fielder Greasy Neal. For the 3rd out, we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th. Cleveland 3 and Cincinnati nothing. For Cincinnati, pitch hitting for the pitcher, Luque, is Sherry McGee. 26 is a fly ball to left field, caught by Charlie Jameson. McGee is the 1st out. Maury Rath, 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. 56 is going to be a pop-up, I believe, to shortstop, and he is the 2nd out. Comes down to Jake Dalbert. .13, that's going to be a base on balls. Dalbert patiently extends this game. It's a fast runner at first. Heine Groh. There's the pitch. 22 is going to be a base hit for Heine Groh, I think. Nope, against the A pitcher, it's a ground out to third, 5-3, with a runner on first. That ends the ball game. The final score: the Cleveland Indians 3 and the Cincinnati Reds nothing. We'll be back with a wrap up. Okay, in this game, the Cleveland Indians scored 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors. The Cincinnati Reds had no runs on 2 hits and no errors. The winning pitcher was Jim Bagby, 9 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no strikeouts, and 1 walk. Hot Eller is the loser, 8 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. The star of the game is definitely Jim Bagby, who in 1920 he had 31 wins, and I think he went 1-1 in the 20 World Series, so 32 wins there. And he's got another win here in the Apba Classics tournament. The Cleveland Indians will, they will move forward into the winner's bracket. They'll play the winner of tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game will be the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates of Hannes Wagner. They will take on the 1917 Chicago White Sox, Joe Jackson. The losers today will go down to the losers bracket, the 19 Reds, and they will play the loser of tomorrow's game. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game. We'll be back tomorrow. let's see, tomorrow is going to be Saturday. We won't be back tomorrow. We'll be back Monday with the next game of this Apba Classics tournament, the Old Nine Pirates hosting the 1917 Chicago White Sox. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.